What is up, YouTube? It's RippingLotus here, and today I am here to talk to you guys about Pokemon Unite. For those of you who don't know what Pokemon Unite is an upcoming Pokemon game that steps into the MOBA video game genre. The objectives for Pokemon Unite is a bit different from those of the typical MOBA genre, such as League of Legends, Smite, Dota 2, etc. Pokemon Unite is an objective-based point game to where you defeat wild Pokemon or the Pokemon of the other players, and you collect Pokeballs, and you deposit those Pokeballs into the enemy team's towers, and the objective is simply to have more points than that of the opposing team. But we're going to go into a little bit more depth of that today, so let's go ahead and get right into things. Alright, kicking things off, Pokemon Unite's tower system works a lot differently than those of other MOBAs. Generally in MOBAs, towers not only work as a line of defense for, the main team structure in the back by your team's spawn, but, they also act as a defense for your character themselves. If you're losing a fight or, you're retreating or whatnot, you would generally back into your tower and let your tower damage the enemy that's trying to attack you. Pokemon Unite's towers work in a very different manner. In Pokemon Unite, your own tower, they benefit you in a sense to when the moment you step into them, you gain a small overshield. So if you're fighting someone and you're close to your tower, dip back into your tower, get that overshield, step back into the fight, and you now have the advantage. So in reverse sense, it's dangerous to fight opponents that aren't close to their tower because they will have that health advantage over you. In addition to gaining that overshield, if you were to remain inside of your tower, you would gain health over time. So if you have room to step inside of your tower and you don't have to worry about being pushed by an enemy, you can sit in your tower, get some HP back. Note that you cannot get a stacking overshield while you're just inside of the tower. It gives it to you once for that set period, and then you have to wait for a certain period again. But if the fight drags on, you can get your overshield, step out, fight a bit, run back in, get that overshield right back. At the current point in time, they may change that later to where there's more of a time gap in between when you can get the overshield. We'll just have to wait and see. But there are ways to get around it, so let's go ahead and step into that next. One of the first ways around it is to simply destroy the structure. Like generally in every MOBA, the idea is to destroy the structures so you can push the enemy team further back. In Pokemon Unite's currently, towers have a 120 health threshold, and that amount goes down by however many Pokeballs that you dump into it. Quick little correction there on my behalf, the first tower has 80 health and the second tower has 100 health. Note that the more Pokeballs that you have, the more time it takes to deposit them, which makes a lot of sense since you don't just want somebody casually walking up to 30 to 50 Pokeballs and just throwing them in there instantly and then just walking away free. No, make them work for those points. The second way around towers is that there are special Pokemon on the map, and they generally offer 10 Pokeballs at a minimum, and they have a rather large health pool. Defeating these Pokemon will then have them walking to the nearest enemy structure, and these Pokemon will disable that structure, meaning the enemy team cannot get an overshield nor can they heal in it. All they can do is fight near it or retreat to the next nearest structure. So generally teams would fight over these, so at that point your team will have the advantage to push the enemy team that are in that lane. So what can you do in this situation if that is you in that predicament? Your tower has been shut down, now you have to retreat, and you and your teammates are in potential danger. Well, interestingly enough, Pokemon Unite has implemented a very interesting feature. Since towers in this game don't attack the opposing team, they have implemented what I'm calling at the moment a type of movement field in between tower structures. What this field does is that for your team, the allied team, it boosts your movement speed while you're in it by quite a substantial amount. But opposing players get slowed pretty heavily, making it very difficult to chase. Now at this point, if you're the player that's in the opposing team's movement lane, you have to decide whether it's worth to commit if you have a move that's capable of reaching them to try to secure that kill, or if it's not, because if you commit too much, you're gonna have trouble getting out of there, and you know, reinforcements may come and they may clean up the kill, get Pokeballs off you, and now they have the opportunity to use those against you and deposit those into one of your own towers. And that's kind of a risk to, you know, kind of a big risk to take. So what can you do if you are in that predicament where, you know, you've overcommitted just a bit? Well, there are openings on the map in which you can get what they call in other MOBAs, you can enter the jungle. Now they do have some type of way to close off the middle lane structures. They do have like pillars that can rise up and block off entry on some maps, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work later on, but you can break off into those as long as you're out of that movement lane, out from in between those two tower structures. You'll gain your movement speed back. So that may be a good offensive option, a good retreating option. You know, you see somebody's hanging out in their movement speed lane, and you just circle around through the jungle, hop in, get that kill, hop out, and try to meet back up with your team, or, you know, go farm more wild Pokemon, get those Pokeballs, deposit them into the tower and whatnot. Now, as far as towers go, that's all the utility and all the purpose that they really have in the game. Now, in terms of points, the most points that you are able to obtain from a wild Pokemon on the field, I know from the latest gameplay that we've seen, I believe after the 5-minute mark or so, Pokemon will spawn in the dead center of the map, and you know, it's fair game at that point. Both teams can go up there, and that Pokemon is worth 20. And the footage that is available, it is a Zapdos that's in the middle of the field. And just as I mentioned earlier, the special Pokemon that will walk towards an enemy structure and disable them, that Pokemon works the same. Now, once you defeat these Pokemon, you don't get the points onto your character. Once these Pokemon reach that tower on their own, they will deposit those points for your team. But the enemy team can still come and intercept them and, you know, reduce their health on their end. At that point, I'm not exactly sure what happens, since we have no footage of what happens, you know, when that occurs. Maybe he goes the other way and attack the other team structure, or maybe you just negate the points as a whole and nobody gets those points. So we'll just have to really wait and see when it comes to that. And now the only remaining information regarding points that we have available at this current point in time is that after the 2-minute mark, points are doubled on the map. And as you see here in this footage, this Corphish, the wild Pokemon on the map, actually evolves into a Crawdont. And I think that's, you know, pretty darn cool, you know, to see the wild Pokemon step it up within the last 2 minutes, and now they're worth more overall. So after the 2-minute mark, it really becomes anybody's game at that point. So I really can't wait to see this game. I can't wait to try it. I'm somebody who's played Smite ever since it came out on the Xbox. For the most part, I did have quite the break for a while there, but overall I did genuinely enjoy the game, and I'm very much looking forward to Pokemon Unite. I'm going to be playing it on the Switch, and I'm going to be sure to keep you guys updated for any new information that comes out. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to go over the abilities currently in the game, and I'm going to be talking about the experience and things, and experience and levels and such in the game. So stay tuned for that next video, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.